Hey, it is March the 13th, 2019, and y'all wanted to holler at y'all about some stuff before I forget. And I likely, because I forget a lot of things and I just don't mention them. But I wanted to talk about something, and it's pertaining to Parkland, but it's pertaining to, like, I don't know, you say gun rights, gun culture, the culture here in America in general and stuff. Around this Parkland thing, and how it has everything to do with access to guns here in America. People debate over it. A lot of people are done debating. Can't blame them. Thing is, the whole situation, it tends to get complicated, but I think most of y'all out there know what I mean when I say, it's best to just simplify things. Keep things real simple. It's like, I don't know who Ron DeSantis is. Never heard of him until he became like the governor and stuff. I don't know all these people and stuff. It gets very complicated. At the same time, you keep things very simple. Very simple. If you have a problem or a situation where you'd be afraid, I guess, for some reason that somebody's going to come in and shoot all y'all up, if that was a situation, I would keep it very simple. I don't know everybody's name, but at the same time, you would think to give those people some guns, maybe protect themselves from that sort of a situation. Of course, a lot of people think that that's tomfoolery, and everybody has their opinion out there and stuff like that, but that's just what I would think. I mean, honestly, people out there making their children vulnerable, sending them to a lot of these public schools, but so they're already doing that. Might as well give them a chance to protect themselves if there is indeed a chance that someone will come shoot them up. Now, it's kind of like an elephant in the room that, isn't always addressed, but it's kind of funny how the social structure of these public schools are leading people, hypothetically, allegedly, to shoot everybody up. It's like, dude, that's not everywhere you go. Do like people get so upset that they want to shoot everybody up, but schools it somehow seems natural. Everybody gets it. They're like, oh yeah, I can understand how. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of sick. All right, you give them a chance to defend themselves, so it doesn't matter who's like, who's in charge. Whoever's in charge needs to make sure people can defend themselves if that is in case that is a possibility. All right, things of that nature. And I want to keep it real simple. Sometimes I don't hear people bring it up. It's like you could be for training for code red drills because code reds happen very rarely, but sometimes you could be in favor for it. You could be totally against it. People have all sort of opinions. It's very complicated. Let's just keep it real simple. If we're gonna have all sort of people in charge doing their own thing, why don't we keep it real simple? Let's think about this. Like I said, these are child sacrificial rituals that they're doing, right? And that's what it is. A lot of people would want to complicate things and say, oh no, I think it's this, or I think it's training. It is a sacrificial ritual if I ever seen one in my life. And that's the only one I've ever seen. Okay? So that being said, let's keep it real simple. During any of these training drills that people like to have, these code red training drills, shouldn't it be illegal? Shouldn't it be absolutely illegal for anybody to look like they got blood on them? You might say, oh, they got to recreate the scenario so that they know what the heck to do. First of all, these drills they're not effective at training anybody to do anything, right? This has been proven. But if you're going to have the drills, you should make it illegal for anybody to have any blood on them. All right? Why don't you use your imagination? If you want to be in this fantasy world of code red drill and stuff, why don't you use your imagination and just imagine people with blood all over them? All right? Because it should be illegal. The reason why is because it's going to totally confuse somebody who doesn't know. It's going to look like the exact real thing, thereby causing confusion. See, Parkland would never, ever, ever have happened, ever, had there not been these wackadoodle code red drills that they may or may not have even had at Parkland. So it should be, and that's simple. It's like, dude, I don't care who's in charge. It should be illegal. You should go directly to prison or worse. Conducting these drills where there's fake blood on people, it should never ever happen. And loud gunshots, like the way gunshots actually are, you have a drill like that with loud gunshots, should be illegal. You go directly to prison. I don't care who you are. If you're Scotty Israel, if you're Ron DeSantis himself, do you get caught doing this, you go to prison. There should be laws against it. And that's actually very simple. The thing is, if you implement that, the whole Parkland thing, it wouldn't be so confusing. People wouldn't have been so confused. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be so confused. Why are we training children out there to be so confused? It doesn't hardly make any sense. All right, and I do want to end on this note, and I'll tell you a little story too. I do want to end on the note of some people are worried about giving teachers guns and stuff. Right? They tend to complicate things. They think, oh, well, what teacher? What teachers? And should they get training? What kind of training? Oh, then they get all worried. They say, oh, man, we shouldn't be giving these teachers guns. Oh, it could get complicated and stuff. You know, what if they lose their temper, I hear that argument. Have you ever heard that? What if the teacher were to lose their temper or something and wall out? What if they got fired by, and I've heard this hypothetical. What if they got fired by the principal and turn around and go to their desk, pull out their Glock 9 and go to business? No, the thing is, that should not even be a hypothetical. That's crazy. And that's the reason that they give. These are the hypotheticals that they give and stuff. Right now, I want to draw your attention to this. San Antonio is having a mayoral race. Right? How many people in San Antonio actually know that that's occurring right now? Well less than half, I can assure you. Well less. All right, so that's actually happening, and it reminds me of the last time I was kind of paying attention to the San Antonio mayoral race. It was a number of years ago and stuff, and nobody cared. I'm here to tell you, nobody. The smallest percentage of people in San Antonio actually cared at all who's the mayor. Right, so that's going on right now, and I'll tell you, even back then, I remember going on the internet, going to a little video. They had dozens of views maybe and stuff, where all the mayoral candidates were like having a debate and stuff, talking about this and that and the other. Okay, real briefly, everybody in San Antonio, they're running for mayor. They are a Democrat, all right? That's it. And they pretty much think all the same way, all right? So I just saved you a whole bunch of time. But that's pretty much what they all basically disagree on very little things and totally agree on very big things. And they're all Democrats. All right. I saw them having a debate, and this is back, and they were discussing, it was a few years ago, and they're discussing carrying on campus, carrying weapons on campus, and they're talking about college campuses in particular. All right, whether or not people should be allowed to carry on college campuses. And this was before Parkland. This is like, an idea of preventing mass gun violence on campuses, right? So they were all posed with this question, basically how they felt about carrying weapons on campus. Now, they're all Democrats, so they were all against it, all right? Just know that for sure, right? They were all against it. Meanwhile, I know at least one of them who has something to do with the fire department. One of these candidates, he said that, he said, if I'm to paraphrase something like that, if he were to have a gun in his college days, that he might have lost his temper or something. Who knows what would happen? And he would go around pistol whipping people. All right? And it was all some sort of joke or whatever, but he said it like seriously. That was his argument against carrying weapons on campus, is that back in his college days, he would have wowed out and probably shot somebody. And still, he was running for the mayor of San Antonio. All right, and they all giggled and they all laughed and they all agreed with him and stuff like that. It's amazing and stuff to think about these people. These are the people who are against, carrying and stuff, is the people who would actually probably shoot you if they had a gun. Anyways, all right, y'all. It's March the 13th, 2019.